We're live. West Ham didn't give me heart failure. They did the other week, but now we've won. We've got the 3 points against Wolves. We've done it, mate. It was a listen. It does. West Ham do your nothing. They're designed to wind you up at every single turn. And in terms of games, like if you actually look at performances, first half against Arsenal, first half against Wolves, some of the best stuff we played this season. Clinical, decisive, strong. Thoughts, mate, on just generally speaking on getting the 3 points and West Ham still in the hunt for top four.
They're just like your wife, aren't they, West Ham? You love them and hate them at the same time. It was just a good performance, mate. Just a solid performance. When it first half, we were, like you said before we came on, it was probably the best we've played from an attacking sense this season. We were at it from the get-go. Antonio superb, all of them were superb, and Wolves couldn't cope, to put it sweetly, and nearly gave us a heart attack and deja vu again, but luckily we seed it out and we win our fourth, so happy days.
Yeah, only team in London to get the win, I think, this week. And listen, it was a weird one because again it was an incredibly open game. Like it feels like I suppose that's the only difference between first half at Arsenal and first half at Wolves was the fact that Arsenal, we were in control, we were dominating, we had the game plan. Against Wolves, though, we were still conceding. And I remember William Jose getting a chance in the box. And that was a characteristic of today. We will touch on the goals and there's loads of positives to touch on. But just defensively, like deliveries, through balls, we were very open to play against, possibly the most open we've been all season.
Yeah, from a defensive point of view, we were just... I don't know, mate. I just don't think the defence were right, were they? I just don't think that, Dawson or Diop were at the races today. I think Dawson, the last few games, he's missed up Bonner, hasn't he? He's missed up Bonner massively, that solid partnership, because obviously Diop's come in and Bonner's been injured. Diop's a new partner that they haven't played together much, so it's going to take time. But I said to you, it's a good job we scored 3 because I thought defensively tonight we were off it. And we would have lost that game if we didn't score as many as we did. Well, it goes without saying, obviously, but
yeah, all right, Mark Alone.
I'll leave that.
Yeah, see you later, Dan. Nice one. Let's see what Chris is saying, boys. If we had enough tonight, sorry, I couldn't enjoy it. Oh, well, yeah, we're good. Yeah, exactly, mate. We're fourth in the league, and I think we've got away with one. Like in a way, I mean, that's probably taking way too much out of West Ham going forward. Because to be honest with you, that. We'll touch on Bonner, don't get me wrong. We'll give it all a bit of airtime. But Lingard's goal, I mean, this geezer, right? We brought him in out of the cold from Manchester United. And I think, West Ham fans included forgot how good he was. But in this side, when we knew how we would play tonight without Declan Rice, we couldn't press Wolves, we couldn't play a 4-2-3-1. You need guys to carry that ball. And I mean, for Lingard to have the composure, not only for the third goal in terms of the assist, but for the first goal, absolutely unreal, mate. And to finish it, he's run all the length for the pitch and he's put it past Patricio and made it look easy. I mean, thoughts on Lingard's performance tonight, mate, and how influential he's been since he's joined West Ham?
That speaks for themselves, don't they? 9 goal contributions in 8 games. He's I know there was divisive opinions on whether, he'd hit the ground running, what he'd be like. But I said to you, mate, if I'm not claiming to know it all and all that, but if he's been at United that long, he's clearly a good player. He's clearly got ability and they clearly want to keep hold of him for several reasons. But for me, what astounds me the most is how fit he is and how fit he is when he first came into, not play many games on the pitch, but just his intensity levels and the way he carries the ball. I just think, Benrahma's obviously a good ball carrier. Lanzini obviously was and still is, but he just offers something, just a bit of class, mate, just a bit of end product, and he's got that in abundance. And obviously the goal was probably one of the best goals of the season in terms of the individual goals, wasn't it? I'd say it's up there.
We've got a few, mate, haven't we? Lanzini for shots, but definitely for that run.
Oh, Lanzini, yeah, it's a shot. But no, just the whole move, mate, from Fornals, that little touch around the corner that was very nice, and then obviously Antonio's run to distract the defenders, take them away to create the space for Lingard to finish. So
yeah,
it's a beautiful goal.
It's really interesting what you touched on. Like, obviously, he has to be a good player. He's been at Man United. We didn't know how fit he was going to be, how well-rounded he is, like in terms of pressing and energy. And if we want to break down a team, he can play between the lines. If we want to transition on a team, he's the guy that can carry it and he can finish as well. And I think, he's always had goals in his game. I always remember the FA Cup final for Man United, and he can score real bangers. But I just think in terms of the composure, when West Ham at the minute looks like Mikel Antonio is probably out for a few weeks, we need someone that's going to carry that burden. Let's hope Lingard's not injured. But really impressive again, and hugely consistent. He's not had a bad game for it. He has, I think, maybe he had Fulham. Did he play against Fulham? Might have been maybe the one. Maybe. Can't
yeah, he did,
remember,
didn't he? Yeah, no, he did. Yeah, that was a game that he wasn't in it that much, was he? He wasn't that involved.
But like little spell, the team wasn't great that day. But just generally, like how consistent he's been and how important he is, mate. He's we've got to sign him up, haven't we? Surely, his value just keeps rising. though. That's the problem. We've got to be wary. He's got to knock it on the head.
Yeah, man. But the more that he scores these goals, puts in these performances, the more other clubs are going to think, hang on, there's a player in here. We can snap him up for pennies, 15 mil, get it done. I think there will be other competitors in the race. If someone has got to be, because if he keeps on going like this, and there's like 16 goal contributions in 15 games.
It's nuts. Well, he's top, isn't he? He's top up there with, I think, Harry Kane for
Harry
9 goal
Kane,
contributions.
Yeah.
At the minute. So he's absolutely performing out of his skin. Mikel Antonio as well, mate. Like we touched on it, and it's really, really disappointing for him to go off injured. And it was kind of a bit in half a mind whether he was going to come on, because he sort of waved to say no, don't come on, and then he went down the tunnel. It looked really sharp from the beginning. I think there's one spell of him down that left hand side where we have a striker or a number 9 that's not like any other. Finishing maybe a bit off, but just in terms of what he can do, bully people, carry the ball, dribble, strong. I mean, thoughts, mate, on him possibly being injured, because again, that he's so crucial to us in the way we're playing. Definitely for the first 2 goals. Yeah,
definitely. I touching on that. I think I've seen someone just say that. I think his ex said that he just felt it, so they brought him off as a precaution, which I was hoping for anyway. Because imagine if he'd done it, but he was fabulous. He's fabulous. I thought the 2 weeks he needed, to be honest, because he's 31 now and he can't hack as many games. But obviously, I think that break has done him wonders, because I thought he looked really sharp tonight. Like you said, everything he done when he got the ball off the ball for the movement for Lingard's goal. I thought he was superb. I just thought he looked the sharpest he's been for a while. Honestly, he looked like a man possessed at times. And he was really good tonight, I thought.
Yeah, and you're right. He needed that break. And I said beforehand in the previews, I was like, I wonder whether this 2-week break will just give him that a bit of energy. And you're right. Like I remember he megged to Den Donker and he absolutely smacked a shot that, to be fair, Patricio's pulled off a really
good save. Wasn't it? Good save, that. Yeah.
And I was like, I can't be Mickey. Don't score from outside the box. But it was a really, really good shot. And yeah, no, mate, he was fantastic again tonight. And he even missed a header. Like, again, the chances that West Ham had in those first kind of 30, 35 minutes, we were...
Yeah, that was a big chance, yeah.
I'm sure we'll go over about the big chances that we had. Second goal, 4 nows. Again, down that left-hand side, Lingard, Berbatov-esque. And we should know
tell him. Yeah.
We should know what it feels. We should know what it feels like when Berbatov did Ginger Pele. But it was a little bit what Lingard did tonight. And Arthur as well, getting in on the assist, making that run. That's what West Ham have missed, particularly down that left-hand side. We
have missed him in terms of he's so good with his feet, Masuaku. He can create space out of nothing. And I think we missed him tonight, his energy. Me and you were saying Masuaku doesn't get back in that team. Obviously, he's got back in it tonight because of a bit of fortune, because of Rice being out. But I thought he's earned his place tonight. I thought he was really good. I thought he dealt with who was it on the right side tonight?
I'll tell you. That's a question. I don't know. I think it was Neto, wasn't it?
Who was he? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, my bad.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he dealt with him really well, because Neto's a top player and he's a problem. And just going forward, it's a good ball. And Pablo, for once, has not missed a sitter, because I thought it was going wide. And I was like, you've missed another sitter, Pablo. But it was a great finish, to be fair. He took it really well, opened his foot out, slid it in, and yeah, we were balling from then on. So.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant from Pablo as well. We have missed Pablo in terms of that. We talk about that defensive work rate. I think it probably a little bit different tonight, because we had to go to that 5-3-2. It was a bit of an enforced change with Nobes coming in for Rice. But yeah, mate, I thought that finish, he took it really, really well. And
he did, yeah.
And I think the thing is, when we play this system, is we've changed the way, like I touched on a minute ago. Like, can't go and press teams. It becomes a bit difficult. You don't want Noble to go and do that work either.
Yeah,
but when you counter, You've seen West Ham play a lot of sort of long deliveries down the side, trying to stretch the play. But when we got the ball, we were absolutely clinical, and we were still getting Souček forward. So
that's
still
the refreshing. Yeah, that's the refreshing thing, mate. You know, through the years, I've gone to games thinking, why can't West Ham be that team that are counter-attacking us? Why can't they be devastating on the counter? You know, because it used to be forward, we couldn't even string 5-yard passes together. I'm not saying this has been West Ham since I've supported them, but the last few years, under Moyes' first spell, the latter stages of Bilic, maybe, and Pellegrini as well, in some stages, we couldn't string a pass together. We didn't know what we were doing. But now, Moyes has got this team drilled, and you know they counter-attack devastatingly. Like today, I just wish we were there, mate. To be honest, I just do. You imagine the scenes like during these games.
I'm not convinced I'm not saying we bottled it, but there is this kind of the mentality element to it where we're dominant and then all of a sudden it just slips and we panic a little bit. I always think that if fans were there, that wouldn't happen. Do you know what I mean? Because I think they had to go in at half time. They have to have a word with it.
Yeah, there's an argument for it. Yeah, would we be doing this well with the fans there? I'm not slating the West Ham fans. It's just there's an argument for it. It's the same with all teams. I'm not going off topic here, but all teams have the pressure of the fans and they will react well in certain situations, isn't it? So, yeah, there's an argument for it, mate. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but just I think just in terms, like it's a bit of a counter, isn't it? Like West Ham can be a bit more patient in the build-up play, but equally, I think what we saw against Arsenal when we've let in the goals and again those kind of individual errors, and the more I actually think about it now, particularly with the goals that we conceded and the chances we conceded, they're just individual moments of concentration, and that does worry me long term. I think we'll touch on bringing Angelo Ogbonna back into the fold because I think he's going to be so crucial from that aspect. But they obviously get back into the. Yeah, I'll change. Yeah, all right, Dan. I'll change your name, mate.
Thanks, mate.
People like he doesn't know Declan is. Don't worry. Just pretends to be his friend. Weird. No, look. At the end of the day, Wolves brought Podence in, and Neto was dangerous, and again Adama Traore, which we said before the game that he hasn't really contributed going forward in terms of goals and assists.
He's not contributing, and then he does his first today, doesn't he?
Yeah. But I also said that because you've got Podence down the middle, Neto on one side, Adama on the other. You've got options, and Adama becomes, when you're a front three, he becomes very predictable. But because they had that front four, it was a bit difficult to try and manage him. And I thought, to be honest, he had the better of Soufal all night. And how many times I don't remember really sitting here saying that, but Soufal just couldn't live with him. Absolutely, just couldn't live with him.
No, he couldn't. He'd probably be one of the most tricky customers, won't he, to deal with for Soufal this season because of his pace and strength, mate. Like. Yeah, obviously, Soufal struggled against Rashford as well, didn't he? That's the only other player I can remember Soufal struggling against. But yeah, no, he did, mate. And that goal was very well worked, manufactured by Traore. I was shouting at the TV saying, "Take him out, take him out." No, we tried to, but he failed, didn't he? But.
Well, yeah. I mean, don't be one of them ones, mate. It'll be so getting over that side, doing that tackling.
Snapping, mate. But no, it was a really good cross. It was a good head from Dendoncker. It was a good goal.
Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm being hypercritical. But
he comes behind. Does he come behind him or in front of him?
Yeah, third man run. It comes behind him, so you can't see him. But I just feel like
I think both defenders were switched off. I think he came from nowhere, didn't he? He made a late run, and it's as a defender, as a centre half, you should be switched on to them late runs because you've got more time to anticipate their run coming forward. If it's just, do you know what I mean? If he's coming from deep, so I just think the organised.
I think that's common though with Diop. I don't know about you, but I just feel like
it is.
He switches off.
He does
way too often for me, and I think Dawson, right, as the more experienced of the players, should be trying to lead him a little bit more in that sense. But at the same time, Diop has got to get that element of his play where he's switched on. And if you look at a lot of Wolves' threat come down our left-hand side, Creswell and Diop down that side. And we
target Diop, wasn't it?
Yeah, we couldn't deal with him. Couldn't deal with him at all.
And then they were clocked onto the fact that, they can't deal with balls on Diop's side, so we'll whip one in. And Neto kept doing it countless times, then flat balls across the
switch pass, mate. Played a switch pass as well, diagonal, literally deep from midfield. I think it was for Fabio Silva's goal. Down that side, switches off. And it's just those moments where I think when West Ham earlier in the season are playing in a deep block, and we've got that shape. And when Ogbonna's in there, we're really good at trying to keep that shape. When we've become a little bit more expansive and try to get a lot more goals, we've lost.
Yeah.
You need to be a lot more concentrated when you're trying to play a bit more on the front foot, and even in terms of pressing. So it was a bit concerning to see, because particularly with this running, we've got to be switched on. In Leicester, Vardy, those type of runs, Ian.
Even Arsenal as well, Lacazette and Lacazette for both goals. To be fair, it's difficult with Diop. He's like he said that like Hammer Social said before. There's a player there, but when is he going to learn, mate? Is he going to learn? Is he going to learn these things? Is he top level to anticipate these runs from Silva and Dendoncker? Because the thing is with Dawson's more assured with Ogbonna, because Ogbonna's obviously experienced. He's a better player than Diop. But I think when Dawson plays with Diop, I just think his confidence goes down as well. Do you know what I mean? I think Diop's game impacts Dawson's game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's the lack of assurity with the player beside him, where he's constantly trying to have to sort of marshal him. And I think Ogbonna has taken that role. And I think Ogbonna's more comfortable with that role than Dawson is. Dawson's kind of just adopted it because, again, Diop's alongside him. But the reality is, you can't keep trying to marshal him and keep him in shape. He needs to be doing better on a lot of those goals.
To be fair, like, I'm Diop's harshest critic. We both are. But the last few games, he's done really well. But tonight, I just thought... I'm not sure, mate. I can't put a finger on him. Sometimes I think he's all right. Other times I think he lapses in concentration. He's a liability, and he's our weak link, for teams to figure out if they think, oh, he's a bit dodgy, And if they have analysts that look at their games, they're going to target Diop, aren't they? Leicester are going to target Diop on his side, and it's just a bit...
What would worry me about the way that those goals were conceded, take the first goal out of it, the second one, Neto, I think it was come from a deep position. West Ham are set in a shape and they've played the ball over the top and he hasn't read it. And that's the bit for me. And I don't know. I don't think it helps him with Cress either on that left side, because Cress has gone out to press. There's no need for him to go and press into midfield, and he's left him exposed. And it's always our left-hand side for me that's getting constantly beat up. And teams that and Wolves definitely identified it. Silva playing on the shoulder, Neto on that right-hand side. They knew we were weak from there.
Exactly, because who was it? Within Jose in the first half, I don't think he was bad, to be fair. I think he did all right. He had that chance, didn't he? He took it well and obviously just missed. But I think Nuno was very clever and innovative in the fact that he identified that, brought Silva on. He was got a bit more about him, bit quicker, more dynamic, and obviously he scored. He took his goal well. He's had a lot of criticism, hasn't he, that kid? But he took his goal well tonight. So they did identify that, and luckily enough, I think Neil touches on it there. Johnson came on, but it might have been a touch too late. I was a bit like, you should have done this a bit earlier. But that shored it up for sure, mate. It did. It just did.
I think he was probably a bit reluctant to take off Arthur, because I thought Arthur, in terms of we miss a guy that can just carry that ball at ease. Like he's so comfortable in possession, and it's such an overlooked feature. But for a team like West Ham, for a guy that can keep hold of that ball and just for that little while longer, because sometimes, particularly when they got their first goal, all of a sudden it becomes scrappy. We're not keeping it. But Arthur, I think defensive lapses he may have, but going forward, I think he's really impressive. And it was good to see him back in tonight. Gets the assist. I think he needs to get up to match fitness, and I'm sure he will. But yeah, I thought he was brilliant tonight, to be fair, for the minutes he played.
Yeah, he was. He did really well. I thought he was a little rusty to start with. He gave the ball away, didn't he? He was a bit sloppy. He took a few minutes to settle in, but once he did, I thought he was superb. I really rate him, to be honest. I've always rated him. I know sometimes in a flat back four he's questionable because there's a lot more defensive responsibility there, but in a back five it suits him down to a T. And he showed us what he can do from an offensive point of view tonight, and it's good to have him back. Yeah,
but the more I watch him, the more I think you're not a defensive player. Like, do you know what I mean? Like he's got like the kind of work rate and the ethic to get back, and fair enough. But at the same time, I just think going forward, he's very, very good in terms of just keeping hold of that ball. And look at the way that West Ham are playing. And if Mickey's not playing and he's injured for the next game, let's hope he's not, because you've said that it's just a bit of a precaution. Yeah. We've got to have natural ball carriers in there. But it does worry me, the left-hand side. And I do wonder whether Leicester will target that on Sunday, just because of Diop and Creswell and Masuaku. It just feels like it was all a bit too easy to get through us. And he was right. Johnson come on, just settled it down a little bit because he's more of a natural defender.
Yeah, where's Balbuena? Was he on the bench?
I think he was on the bench. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get I'm surprised Balbuena hasn't got. Well, I'm not surprised, but we were talking about it in terms of that relationship between Diop and Dawson. It just felt it feels a little bit shaky at times. Whereas I think like Balbuena, as aggressive as he can be and get caught out positionally, I think he's more commanding in the air, more decisive. And I think that's kind of what we possibly need at the moment. But look, listen, mate, maybe he's just waiting. Maybe he's just waiting for Angelo. I think Angelo's in training. Get him back in the side, get him in that back three, and I think we'll look 10 times better.
Yeah, definitely. It's just that Balbuena didn't he towards the start of the season. He had a few games and he actually looked solid, didn't he? He looked really solid. Then Dawson came in and obviously took his place, and he hadn't had a sniff since. But yeah, I think he's better than Diop. Yeah, I think he, as a defender, I think he's a lot better. But for reasons that we don't know, Moyes is choosing Diop. But maybe if, I don't know, you can't drop Cresswell, can you? Because of how well he's done this season. That's probably his rationale behind it. If Cresswell wasn't playing that well this season and the form he has been, you would have played Masuaku left wing back and you would have brought Balbuena and maybe played Diop left centre back because there's less pressure on him then maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. In fairness, that is he struggles a little bit in terms of that, doesn't he? So, yeah, I don't know, mate. It was just realised I completely botched up my point because Cresswell's on the left and Diop's on the other side. But it was just, I don't know. It felt we were getting stretched quite a fair bit, to be honest, by Wolves, and it was all coming down Diop's side. So, yeah, we've got to address that going forward. When we're pressing forward from the back, Diop's distribution is class. Wouldn't sure I agree with the distribution.
No, he's not. No, that's his weakest point for me. I think in the second half he was coming forward, and I was like, "Release it. You're not good enough to keep going with forward with the ball." And he gave it away.
There's two elements to it. You've got distribution in terms of what Cresswell offers, and then you've got Diop in terms of trying to bring it out from the back. And I feel like when Diop tries to do that, I'm not convinced he can do that role, and he thinks that he can. And I'm like, there's no real need for you to do that. And I think in a game like that, where you've just got to keep the ball and keep the tempo, which we don't do enough for me anyway in trying to control games, he can't be affording to do that. So he needs to kind of just keep it simple, keep it basic. But he's an odd one, isn't he, Diop? Because if he gets a bit of confidence, all of a sudden he's unstoppable, wins everything in the air, sniffs it out. So
I just think he could be a lot.
Bit of an agenda for me.
Yeah, from both of us, mate. To be fair, I don't know if we're nitpicking, but I just think he needs to be a lot more competent and comfortable in himself and confident in terms of what he can do, because there's a defender in there. But I just think for the size he is, in the air he needs to be a bit more dominant, because he's not really, is he? Sometimes he can be, sometimes he isn't. On the floor, obviously, that's, he's not the best. Just stick to what he's good at, really. But just in terms of everything, in every aspect, I just think there's a player in there, but it's not being brought out enough. There's some confidence there, and like you said, he's a confident player, isn't he?
Yeah.
But whether he stays or goes in the summer, I'm entirely not sure, to be honest. Night, Chris. But yeah, yeah. We're nitpicking. There's a player in there, but for me, he's not. I don't see it enough. It's the same with Benrahma. There's a player in there, but I don't see his end product enough.
Oh, don't talk to me about Benrahma, mate. That's the hill I will die.
I'll leave him out.
Leave him alone. Well, I didn't do anything tonight.
Have you seen it on another note? His haircut, it gets worse by every game, doesn't it? Shocking.
What's wrong with it tonight? See, they just
terrible.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Sorry, Benny. I'll leave it out, mate. But
right, let's talk about other matters. Jared Bowen come on, and obviously, like he didn't play from the start, and I could completely empathise with that. We knew that was what's going to happen with a 5-3-2, but it looked really lively. And I know Lingard makes the run, makes the move because how he carries the ball and gets it over to Bowen. But I thought the finish from Jared Bowen, by the way, is sublime. He's gone to the keeper's near side. So again, he hasn't gone across him where it could be easy. Actually, more difficult to score from there, and he's hit it off the post and in. I mean, that's why. Looking forward to reading expectations. Nice one, Shizo Baz. I don't butcher the name, but that's why people look at him as a centre forward, because he has got that kind of, he has finishing ability, apart from the header. We'll touch on the header. But he's also got movement. And that's kind of possibly what West Ham are going to look to in the next couple of games if Mickey's unfit. Or if we have to switch it up and Mickey comes off, Bowen will be the guy to play up front. So
I think so, yeah. I think so. Because he's he did really well. He looked like he had a point to prove tonight. He looked fresh. Again, like Antonio did. Obviously, he came on. I thought that was a natural substitution because obviously he's played for Hull there before, hasn't he? You know, he's used to that position. And Lingard, to be fair, Lingard had the Messi treatment. I think one of the commentators, Alan Smith, was saying that Wolves were playing like year nines. Like the defending was awful for that goal, and it was.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was really bad, but the finish was perfect because it was a really tight angle as well. I didn't really back him because I thought it was a too tighter angle, but he got so much power on it, mate. And it was a good goal. Good to see him get a goal under his belt. How many goals now this season? 7? Must be up there.
Yeah, someone said 7. It sounds a lot more than what you'd think he'd scored. But he obviously scored in the last game. Got the goal again today. Yeah. And no, he done well today. Yeah, there's some aspects like you say. I know you'll touch on it in a minute that he could have done better with. But like you say, if Antonio's injured, I think he'll do well there with Lingard maybe rotating. Him and Lingard rotating, you know what I mean? So I always thought Bowen looks better when we play him on a wide area of a 3-4-3, or he plays a little bit more central, because I just feel like he influences the game a hell of a lot more. Did it against Spurs, did it against Arsenal, again tonight. The directness in those sort of central areas, like we kind of pocketed him a little bit as like a winger, but you forget how many goals he scored for Hull in the Championship, the positions that he takes up, particularly from second balls as well. I like him, and I think we've got to remember he's still young. I know he gets a fair bit of stick.
24, isn't he?
Yeah, and then tonight, obviously, he had a header, and the positioning's fantastic. Right, it's a brilliant cross in the box. He's between the two defenders. He's exactly where he needs to be. It's a poor header. I could see what he was trying to do with it. But there's no reason for me why Jared Bowen scored a lovely header against Aston Villa earlier in the season. So I do think in his game, he can improve. And I think once he gets a bit more consistent, gets this season under his belt, I think he can start getting even more goals and assists. And he can be dangerous in that final third.
That's the thing. I've been harsh on him sometimes this season, but that's what we're forgetting. You know, you've hit it on the head there. He's 24. It's his first full season in the Premier League. Without fans as well, so that'll be a bit paranormal for him. But he's a really valuable player, isn't he? For us, he's a really underrated player in our team. What he offers, and like you said, that header, that'll come with game time. That'll come with improving on his weaknesses, because that was a good connection. It just, the direction wasn't there. But, no, he's done really well, and he's very versatile, mate, as well, which is what I like. He can play on the left, right, obviously, down the middle as well. So, in terms of versatility and what he offers going forward and how young he is, there's a real player in there. And, like Hammer Social said, 8 goals this season. Was he joint second behind Souček?
Lingard's got 8, apparently. Lingard actually got that amount of goals. And I just can't clock. He probably has, to be honest.
He has 8 goals and 3 assists, doesn't he, in 9 games, does he? Yeah, I think he does. Hammer Social, get it up, but I think he does 8 goals and 3 assists, yeah. And 2 penalties won. So that's a hell of a contribution. Yeah,
and I think we are the only area that we do have any squad depth in is attacking midfield / kind of those forward players. And I think now we've got a nice mix of 4 nows who brings work rate and, again, clinical finish from him. Brilliant. And I think it's all just about composure. I think we forget a little bit with 4 nows and Bowen that they are still relatively young. And I think, again, another season in the Premier League under their belts, improving, a bit more composure in the final third. We know the work rate that they offer defensively, which, again, we need hugely. I mean, the fact we're playing tonight with a back 5 and they were still trying to ping balls over the top of us and we couldn't deal with it shows that we do need those wide players to even get back further and try and support. And possibly Moyes thought a back 5 would be enough to deal with Wolves, but the reality is there's still an element of sloppiness. So it's a very unique situation. Defend as a team, attack as a team, but West Ham are trying to get to that point where they can do that and they can get forward. And it was good to see, mate, because I thought when Antonio went off, I was like, we're not going to offer anything. And I just felt like we were still getting men forward when we had a chance. We still got the same tactic. That's what we need going into some of these other games, because we're going to miss Declan, no doubt. We'll talk about Noble to end the thing, but we just need that attacking threat. And it's good to know that we can go and get goals. And actually now we've got to go and sort out the defence that have been so good for so long.
No, exactly. Yeah, Deck being injured was a massive test for Moyes. I was in the car thinking, we're buggered here. We're screwed. Honestly, I thought European hopes were dashed because Deck is not only he's one of the best, probably the best West Ham player I've seen, but just in terms of what he offers on and off the ball, it's irreplaceable. It really is. I think in Europe at the moment, he's irreplaceable for us. Obviously, there's Kimmich as well. Yeah, exactly. And I thought, right, well, we're going to struggle. I said to you before the game, a point I'll be over the moon with tonight. But it showed how Moyes can adapt really well to the situation. The team he picked was spot on because he's got it wrong a few times this season, but tonight it was spot on. And how well the players adapted, and all that without Deck, because how many games he's played, like 108 games or something in a row. He's incredible.
Ridiculous.
It's stupid, daft, and it tested, and like you said, it tested Moyes without Bonnet, it tested Moyes without Antonio today. But the fact that he keeps getting performances, and we have these players now that can come in and fill a void. Well, not centre mid, but Noble did a fantastic job today. In fact, with a centre mid as well, because Noble did well today. I defend Nobes.
You did.
Yeah, it's good to see. Yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see. So.
Before we get to the nose thing, because I'll give him his crowning glory at the end, because he did come under a lot of stick, and I knew that would happen when the inevitable Rice injury sort of was confirmed. How do you think Souček got on with Rice? I thought Souček was okay. I think what was encouraging, and when we talk about that, I think a lot of it has to do with the three-man midfield. I think although Fornals was playing very advanced, to be honest, at times it became a little bit of a two, but Noble's position tonight demonstrates that Moyes knows exactly what he needs to get out of him in these next couple of games, sitting a bit deeper, allowing Souček to get forward. And we know Noble's limitations, and he knows his own limitations, but just playing into that and allowing West Ham to keep a very, very similar style of play is what's going to benefit us in the games where we are going to struggle. The squad depth's not good enough. We know that. But I just thought Noble played the role that he had to play tonight. And I thought he was very intelligent. And that's what he offers, mate.
Well, the last few times he's featured, mate, he's been a cab. He's been pressing from the top. I'm like, he's been a furthest player up the pitch, and we were like, that's not Noble's game. Noble sits in front of the defence, almost goes in a back five to receive the ball, and distributes it from there. And he, like comment says, he played very well today because he had a lot of pressure on him. There's a lot of football fans with a player he's slagging him off. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about other fans on Twitter. They are though, mate. They're slagging him off. And you got to remember the loyalty that guy brings and how much of a good player he has been for us. He could have probably got an England call up, to be honest.
We should have done 15, 16.
Definitely should have done. Yeah, and I just thought tonight showed that he is still very valuable and his legs haven't gone, and that he's a good player, mate. I don't know what you want to say on him, but I thought he was faultless tonight. I thought he was superb.
I think you put some stats on Twitter. I might just bring them up actually.
Yeah,
they are interesting. I think people sort of gloss over things like this, and I don't think it was a case that Noble wasn't Declan Rice, and he was never going to be Declan Rice. But in terms of the role that he played and what he needed to do tonight, he did it. 100% long passes completed, 89% pass accuracy, 9 ball recoveries, 6 final third passes, 4 interceptions the most, and 2 tackles. And I think that's exactly what you want from that kind of midfield pivot, really, of Souček and I said Rice then, but Noble. And Noble understood the role, and I think he read it very, very well. He tried to protect the back five, which again I thought had lapses of concentration. But just in terms of winning the ball, winning fouls, there's probably stats on him trying to win fouls in our own.
Yeah, he won 2, yeah.
Yeah, so things like that, little things like that. And I haven't got a problem. We know Mark Noble's limitations. Again, we talk about it, it's his legs. His legs have gone, but his brain hasn't gone. And I think if you use him correctly, and he understands his role within the team, he can do a job. And I felt like a little bit tonight, and it might be reading too much into it, that he stepped up. I think tonight he knew that he had to step up in this side, and he knew that when he's come in before, it's possibly sort of Dwayne a little bit, and there's not that level of athleticism, but he played his role perfect, and I think that's the biggest credit I can give to him.
Yeah, spot on. He's obviously been frustrated because he's a West Ham boy. He's been in the team, probably the first name on the team sheet for how many years now? So many years, all my lifetime pretty much. And obviously for Deck playing so well, Souček, the geezer's not going to be sitting on the bench. But tonight he stepped up to the mark, and he knew he had to put performance in. He was probably shitting himself before the game, but he came on the pitch, did the job. Won fouls. Them stats, like you said, go under the radar a bit, don't they? in terms of what he offered to the game. And like as well, mate, he's just such a leader. Like he was geeing all the players on, wasn't he, with like 2 minutes to go, and you need that. Deck obviously offers that. But Noble, he's that leader. He's there for all the players. The players know him so well, and the players know what they need, what Noble expects from them. Do you know what I mean? So for him to come on the pitch and do so well today, he's good. And I'm chuffed for him, mate. I'm chuffed for him because people write him off, and it's not fair.
I've got to be honest, I'm one of the ones that write him off. I actually did a video saying, please don't put him in a 2-man midfield because he can't hack it.
Shocker.
They will listen, man. Look, I mean, this is like the Craig Dawson thing.
We've all been there. Yeah, we've all
been there. No, look, he's. I've never denied that he could play in a pivot role. I'm not saying he's defensively or even athletically as strong as Souček and Rice. So let's be real here. Souček and Declan Rice as a midfield pivot goal or partnership are two of the best in the league. That's a fact. Up there with Tielemans and we'll see that next week. Tielemans and Ndidi. And I'm not. Noble doesn't have to play Declan's role, and I think that was what was the issue here. He was playing a role when he come into the side that he expected that he could still play. As long as he adapts, we've seen it in past. I mean, it's a completely different example, but like Ryan Giggs from Man United, lacks the pace, comes centre midfield, adapts his game. Like that's what a lot of the experienced, intelligent, and Mark Noble's always been an intelligent football player. He's can always read the game very well. So I think the way that we used him. And the absence of a captain tonight, you can't overlook that. I mean, the fact there's no Angelo Ogbonna in there. Declan Rice not in there as a natural leader as well. We needed someone to step up, and I thought Mark Noble did it. And fair play to him. Listen, I know it's not going to be a permanent thing. He's not going to be in this side when Declan's back, but we've got to get behind him. We've got to back him. And if he performs like that week in, week out until Declan's back, then obviously that's a incredible job from him.
Need I say no more, Geese? End it like that, honestly.
Yeah, I'm the man. Right, guys, I might come back in a bit. If I don't, have a great night. Thank you so much, Hammer Social, Anil, Shizobaz, like the stream. Brilliant. We did get the 3 points. That's the main thing. We're the only team in London that did not take the L this weekend. Technically, Spurs took an L, didn't they? They drew to see Bruce's Newcastle. So, I mean, that's pretty much like it. I spoke to his Touchwood. Yeah. We've got to play him in a couple of weeks' time. So,
Fat Sam did win over on Thomas Tuchel, didn't he? Fat Sam
It did a number, mate. Actually, I won't tell. I'll talk about it after. I was going to ask about Matheus Pereira because we've spoken about him before.
Do it now. I'll
do it quickly now. Let me know in the comments. Would you take Matheus Pereira at West Ham? Because I believe he's available for £17 million from West Brom, and it plays in a low block West Brom side. Not a lot of possession. Gets the ball. Brilliant. Really intelligent player. I'd look at him. Although, do you not think we've got enough of those type of players? Ben Rama in there and things like
that? No, because if you look on the bench tonight, the limited attacking options we had. Who do we have? Ben Rama and
Odebeku, Bowen, no Lanzini.
Yeah. You could have one more in there, surely, please.
I'll go on it.
Please.
No, too greedy. I want
obviously Lord's nailed on, mate. I'm gonna put a cheeky bid on that actually, because I think you'll join. But we'll talk about that in a minute. I'll get me getting excited now. But look at it this way, right? If Lanzini and Anderson go, which for the Lord I hope they do, people are saying give Anderson a chance. No, remove Twitter.
Not for me.
No, not for me either. If them two go, nailed on for me. I think they'll go anyway. You need to bring one man in, don't you? Especially with European competition as well. If we get into the Champo or Euro, either one, I'll take. If we're in Nice on a Thursday night and you need a bit of depth in there, mate, to beat them, you're gonna need more players. And Pereira's a problem. He's an absolute problem. He ran Chelsea ragged, mate, and them 2 goals. He got an assist as well, didn't he?
Yeah, had him on strings.
Superb, and he's wasted in a team like that because they're a good team, but they're going down. Fat Sam as well,
us, didn't he?
Scored against us, out of nothing. Yeah. He's a problem. Do I think we'll go for him? No, I don't think we will. It's a shame. I think someone like Villa will go and get him, but he is a problem. Yeah, he's a top player.
We'll get him. I think if we didn't get. His Lingard thing. I don't know what's going to go on with this, but if Lingard didn't join us, whatever, I think it's pretty nailed on that he wants to come to the club. I think they would start to look at players like him. I don't think he can do the role that Lingard does.
Do you think we'll genuinely get Lingard?
Yeah,
you do.
I think you've got to look at. I'll answer Taylor's question in a minute because I don't want to go without answering it. But I think when you look at West Ham, it's a lot deeper than what we think it is. We think of West Ham as not enough investment. And again, that is 100% true. But the players look at it like there's a project there. They like Moyes. I think Lingard's found his home at West Ham a little bit, loves the squad, gets it. And that's a big thing.
Just get it. Yeah, does get it.
Simplicity, gets it. But I think he does like it. And I think it's done him a world of good. And I think if West Ham stump up the money, I think he'll come. I really, really do, just because of the project. But I think it all comes down to how much West Ham invest in the squad, keeping players like Declan, getting European football, bolstering it up. I don't mind. I've never sat there and said, don't get a free transfer. It's got to be the right transfer. Lundstrom's an example. We might go for Fleck for it. We need a centre midfielder with energy. Do you know what I mean?
And we got that now. Yeah, we got that now with the scouting system, because there was an article, I think I sent you, or someone sent me, on Rashane. Rashane's put something up about Moyes and his Everton days, because he interviewed someone from there saying Moyes' scouting methods and his knowledge of players was second to none. So we've got that now. We got he probably knows what players he wants if he's going to get into Europe. He needs these players, Champions League, these players, because we have more money for the rewards. So we're in a safe pair of hands now. With Pellegrini, we tried, it failed. With Bilic, we got a few decent players, Payet obviously being the main one. But now I just feel like I feel comfortable in the transfers, even if we haven't signed anyone with 1 week to go, because he knows what he wants. And he'll demand from the board, I want to take control of these transfers. I want to get these players in by that date, him in by this date, and it's done. So I have full faith that we will get some good players in. And like you said, hopefully Lingard, because he's got relationships in there. London obviously is a big factor. He won't want to sit on the bench at United with his ability, especially in his prime as well. It'll be a waste. So fingers crossed.
28. He's the right age.
It's his prime, isn't it? Yeah, it's his prime. Yeah.
But I don't know. I'll answer Taylor's question doubly quick. Any idea why we had two goalkeepers? We've got two goalkeepers on the bench because we don't have any squad depth. And the reason why commentary wasn't on there, I've got no idea. Possibly played an under 23 game.
I think he's injured.
He's injured. See, actually, I don't know if commentary is possibly a little.
I don't want to start either. To be fair, he's either injured or he played for the 23s the other day.
I've got no clue. But I do. I thought that he would be on the bench, and I think it's possibly something West Ham do need to look at long term, because I think there's a couple of young players we've got kicking around. Oda Beku being one, commentary, that if we're not gonna play in this season, and I appreciate the situation with the injuries, send them out on loan, man, to a Championship club. Give them a full season of Championship football. Let them come back. Let them do what Grady did.
Like did with Dan Kemp as well. Just give them on loan. If they don't work out, get rid. Do you know what I mean?
Because the reality is they go there, they blitz it, and then they come back to West Ham and we're quids in. So
we're not missing out on anything, are we? And really, I'm not being harsh on Odebeko and things, but he shouldn't be in the squad. We're a kid that age. I know he's very talented, but he's clearly not ready just yet, is he?
I think that's something West Ham also need to develop in terms of the way that we treat our youth players. Have a proper plan. Don't do it like Chelsea, where they're just sending them out to get money back for it, but actually treat them like, go out there, get your experience, improve at a club when you trust. I know they do it with Oxford a fair bit, because we know they did it with Nathan Holland and Tony Martinez, but just in terms of giving them enough game time just to get a better feel of the players, because if they're sitting in the under-23s, they can score a bag full of goals there. But a lot of those players have gone on to play for League Two side, so it's not
exactly.
There's no point in having them in there. Like, to be honest,
Dan Kemp was ripping it up, and obviously he was there when I was at Blackpool, and he looked like a player, but he's in League Two now. Do you know what I mean? So
it's physicality, though, isn't it, mate? Do you know what I mean? I think that's always.
We Kemp it was, but there's a player in there for sure. He's a nice lad as well, to be fair. Really good guy. But like you said, that pathway for me, obviously we got a lot of talent with the Academy of Football, aren't we? Got, that Forcing, who's going to be a good player. We got
Baptiste.
We got who's that bloody, what's his name? He was a captain against Norwich under 18s. He's a winger. I can't remember his name. But we got a lot of good players.
Mate, we need to get you a job at West Ham where you can do the commentary for the under-23s, because how West Ham don't stream under-23 games is criminal. We should be doing that. Other clubs do it. I would watch every single under-23 game, 100%.
Same. Leeds are very good at it because they live stream the games on YouTube.
Yeah, I know. Leicester do it as well, I think.
Leicester do it, yeah. I think Wolves do it as well. And we just get highlights from. I'm not sure if it's official highlights or some some account puts it on YouTube after the game. Have I gone?
I think we just get. I think go on the website and you get like 5 minutes. Because I remember watching a few of the games and just trying to pick up some players. But
it is true though, isn't it? It is true. You know, you need more coverage, especially if we're the Academy of Football. You need to get, you need to milk it as much as possible because we've got some talents in there.
Yeah, like exactly. I think that's what a lot of the Leeds fans do. I hear them talk about Geldhart and Creswell and all these players, and it's like, well, you know, it'd be lovely to be able to talk about West Ham players like Alex and just see him week in, week out, and go. Part of me thinks I don't want to do that because then Moisey will know West Ham fans will be getting onto him. Like, put him in the team. What are you playing at? What's he doing in there?
He doesn't. He just doesn't have much of a choice, Moise, does he? With the squad depth, and you know, he probably doesn't want to put Odebeko in there, but he feel like he has to make up the numbers. Same with the 2 goalkeeper situation, which is what the comment asks. So, but once next year when we bring some players in, get some deadwood out we don't need anymore, then we'll have more depth. But
I think you'll see that happen. I think what will happen is players like Balbuena will leave and Alves will be promoted because Alves is always on the bench. And I think you might even look at Fredericks might even leave and possibly Ben Johnson is promoted to right wing back or right back. I think that's what's more like, and I don't agree with it from a squad depth perspective, but I don't care if you go and get other areas in centre midfield, strikers. A balanced squad is what we need. And I don't mind a promoting like that. Corey, can you do a piece on who we should go for? No, because Lingard's coming. But if anything happens, if anything happens, I will promise you I'll do a piece on it.
I'll jump on it with you. I'll jump on it with you.
Yeah. Dan will come with the stats. Although I've got used to FB ref now, so I'm trying to understand.
He's cheating on me. He don't need me anymore. I'll just go, geez.
They're really interesting though. Like I think because what happens is your eye test tends to back up. Your stats tend to back up the eye test. So like what you saw, or sometimes it doesn't. So like En-Nesyri and Tony, like you see some of their stats, and I was looking at in terms of how many times it's dispossessed, and they're both better than Antonio. So it's like a bit of a valid argument for going and bringing him in. Little things, but I like it. Mix it is good.
Yeah, stats can be misleading sometimes. You know, when I put tweets out, I'm cautious in terms of, you know, they can be very just inaccurate sometimes or misleading or this and that. But FB Ref is it's good, isn't it? It's just interesting because you can get the big 5 leagues on there combined about most final third carries, all of this, and it is interesting. It's decent.
Well, yeah, and I think it just validates some of your points as well. Like I think tonight I was talking about Neto and Adama Traore. Neto the most progressive carries, but Traore the most successful dribbles. And that sounds about right. If you watch Wolves, you're like, yeah, okay, I do get it. Do you know what I mean? And Cody the least pressures because he just sits in a back 3, never really goes. And I thought tonight as well, the fact that back 3 so used to just sitting. And now they have to praise the back 4 and press a bit higher. Couldn't deal with us.
Exactly.
That's what done us. But we will end it there. You've enjoyed so much tactical splendour and insight tonight on everything West Ham. But we'll try to leave
one more thing.
Oh yeah, go on.
One more thing. Sorry, mate. Craig Dawson's now signed on a perm. After that tonight.
Craigie D. Listen, Craig
D.
Craig had a bit of a. He had a moment in the second half where he played it across the box. I was like, come on, Craig.
He nearly assisted Neto, didn't he? If he's playing like he can forget it if he's playing like he did tonight. I did rip up that cunt. I'm joking. No, he's been solid.
Oh no, do you know what? Like, I think it's just the way that these 2 games have gone. I think it'd be nice to have a really boring 1-0 win over Leicester on Sunday, like a really dull game, because I just want the squad to just relax. It's business end of the season. We're getting up for it. I know the players are clearly motivated. I mean, the shit they put in tonight, I know it wasn't a perfect performance, and they'll know that, and they'll come out and say exactly that. But just that keep that momentum up. Compete with Leicester. Let's compete with them. I know it's going to be really, really tough, and we're going to have to change our game plan and let Leicester come onto us, because I don't think we can press them in the way that we did in the first game.
They can be beaten, Leicester. No problem.
Yeah. Agree, mate. Well, we don't have Kevin De Bruyne to play absolute worldy assist from. Did you see that goal?
That was disgraceful, wasn't it? Absolutely disgraceful. But
Shizobaz says, excellent show, lads. We are massive. We're going to end it on that because me and Dan are probably going to play a game of FIFA and talk about it. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. If you did get this far, like the video, subscribe to the West Ham Way if you're new. Loads more stuff coming up. We'll do pre-match stuff for Leicester. Quick turnaround. Fans' voice this week. Dan, you about on Thursday, mate?
I am. I'll see you there, pal.
Yes, he's back. Back on Thursday night previews. Predicted 11s. We'll try and slip in an opposition analysis. Although yours lot's commitment to the opposition analysis is poor. and we've got to start. You got to start changing the level of commitment to it. I can't be having it, right? I give you it. Just like it. Just even if you don't like it, just go and like it.
Don't take long to like it, does it? It's literally a tap. You just come on.
Well, no, you're on your phone. The ones I like is when someone's watched it and then they dislike it, but they do it every week. And at that point, mate, you've got to ask yourself, why are you watching it if you don't like it? You don't have to watch it. It's not up to you. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. These guys put us a lot of work. Just it's a click of a button. That's all it is.
Yeah,
just like it. And because he's got to get thrashed on FIFA now as well, so just a bit of sympathy for him. Sympathy card, get it out, like his videos.
I need a confidence boost. Right, that's enough rubbish talk. Take care, everyone. Have a good week, and I'll see you very, very shortly.